We do not have any Taking Positive Steps of Service Award recognitions, but we're always taking positive steps in Lodi.
Of course.
We don't have any presentations. We do have public input tonight. So, I haven't had to read this for a while.
Yeah, we had to read that for a month.
The purpose of the public input agenda item is for citizens and staff on the School District of Lodi to provide comments on any agenda item or to publicly address the Board of Education on items that pertain to school business. The portion of the meeting during which the comment of the public is invited shall be limited to 10 people unless extended by a vote of the board prior to the beginning of public input portion of the meeting. The amount of time allotted to each speaker will generally not exceed 3 minutes. If the speaker has questions for the board, they'll be duly noted and responses will be provided in an appropriate manner. But the board cannot respond to individual questions or individual comments as part of the public input agenda item. As an additional reminder, the board cannot take action on any item that is brought forth during the public input session or on any item that was not posted on the meeting agenda. If you are providing comments, we would merely ask that you please come to the microphone and state your name and the municipality of residence.
There's no microphone.
Yes, so we're lying about the microphone. Just read that in there for it to be fancy.
Fine.
But you can come up here and Ethan, I'm sorry. Shoe? Okay.
It's German for shoe.
Okay. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess I'll get started. I'm here today regarding the agenda item on private school transportation. I want to thank Administrator Bruning for providing the district's math. I saw you emailed Leslie Curtis earlier with some math, which answered a lot of my questions for coming up here. So I had a lot of those. So I will want to question one thing on it though. So the administration, it says, like, it sounds like you guys planned that these will be mandatory contracts, so you met the 150% threshold for forcing mandatory contracts onto parents. One of the things you did wrong with the math, though, is you did say that the contract, the $42,000 number, versus the $68,000 that it would cost to do a bus. The $42,000 number was based on per family. The IRS mileage per family per cost. That's explicitly against the state statute. I know that you said you talked to DPI and you thought it was prudent. The state DPI guidance specifically says it is not. There's a state statute carve out for only Milwaukee County can do per family. Otherwise, you have to account for per pupil. If somebody has 2 or 3 family or students in there, the mileage reimbursement that you have to do has to be based on per pupil. So immediately that math is wrong, and I don't know what that changes. I don't know if that changes the 150, but I would like you guys to look into that before voting on it, because if you vote on it and then it ends up not being for 50, we can file an appeal as parents to the DPI and then ask them to review all the math and stuff. So I guess that's kind of the main point. A lot of the other points you made, I understand, and it kind of answered my previous questions. My big thing was this going to be voluntary or mandatory? And if it's mandatory, does it meet these thresholds? So I think you clearly said that it did. And then that being said too, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about a 25,000 in difference with your math, less with my math, with the correct math. And I do think that I'd like you guys to consider not voting for that. I don't think that none of the parents are happy with contract options. It's unfortunate that Blessed Trinity shut down and our students have to be moved that much further. And it's just everyone's lives are kind of up and, what are we doing? What are our work schedules? What are these things? And so there's been a lot of angst in the community and amongst our families about what are we doing and how are we going to get our kids to and from school. And so I just know it's been a big thing. Myself, my family too, I'm scheduling a kind of a weird work from home arrangement that I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm kind of I'm going to work until 2 and then I'm going to drive to pick her up and then come home and then work the rest of the day from home. And if they take that away from me, I got nothing. And now I have to pull my daughter out of school again. So I would encourage, I don't know, I assume you've looked at the options and tried to figure out these things, but I just encourage you guys to turn down that one, especially if it's based on some bad math that might be wrong, and vote no on that. That's
Thank
my comment.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to consent agenda. We have our minutes. We have our vouchers. We do not have any fundraiser requests. We have lots of fundraiser reports. Girls soccer, 2 of them, 2 golf, 2 softball, 2 baseball, 2 music boosters, musical, FFA plant sale, and the spring play cookie sale. We have a field trip request from the high school volleyball tournament at the end of August. We have committee recommendations for approval under curriculum. We have our 2026-2027 board adopted standards, 26-27 assessment schedule, and our FBLA charter. Charter? Is it supposed to be charter or chapter?
It's a charter, but it's an FFA chapter, or an FBLA chapter, so you can use either term.
Okay. Then under other, we have our middle school discipline report, high school discipline report, primary school and elementary OSC discipline reports, spring sports summary, our Wednesday night activities requests, we have a few of them, Midwest Scholastic student information request, visual image photography student information request, and impartial hearing officer. Under we have no retirements. Under resignations, we have a volunteer boys basketball coach, speech language therapist, payroll specialist, Costa Rica exchange coordinator, mock trial assistant, and high school administrative assistant. And under co-curricular, we have middle school volleyball coach, assistant boys soccer coach, volunteer cheer coach, middle school head volleyball coach, assistant volleyball coach, primary school assistant hiking advisor, high school PBIS, set builder, musical lighting, volunteer high school girls tennis coach, and a volunteer high school boys soccer coach. And under crew, we have WSI instructor, I'm just making up letters apparently. Under regular staff, middle school special education assistant level 2, auditorium director, 6th grade math, language arts, ELT teacher, primary school STEAM teacher, 50%, 7th grade language arts teacher, middle school special education assistant level 2, payroll specialist, high school math teacher, and a primary school speech and language.
Make motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the addition of Dwayne Hilton, high school boys volunteer soccer coach, and resignation of Pam Cunningham, high school administrative assistant.
And real quick, under personnel, we have leave without pay request, 3 of them, but yes.
So I will second the motion. that's
Okay,
been made.
motion by Scott, second by Terry. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I abstain.
Okay, motion passes 6-0. And now we move on to administrative reports, and they are not here today. We're leaving Jason Brewer all by himself. But we do have a district administrator report.
Yeah, I have a few things I'd like to share. First of all, I share with the board, in my note I send out each week, preliminary state estimate of school aid for the school district of Lodi. Every July 1st, the state provides this preliminary aid estimate. This year's our aid estimate shows a reduction of about almost $600,000 for Lodi, which is a 9% drop following a $634,000 reduction last year. While these numbers won't be finalized till October, we know the state aid cut will unfortunately shift directly onto our local taxpayers. This is because the 25-27 state budget allows for per pupil spending increases, but provided no new state funding to cover it, leaving a district like ours relying heavily on local property taxes. We are keeping a close eye on these changing numbers and want to ensure our community is aware that how these state level decisions are impacting their local tax bills. If this reduction holds true, it will mean a significant increase in school taxes for our community members, not due to anything the district is doing, but just based on the state action, which is the same conversation we had last year after the state budget was signed. In comparison, last year in July, we were predicted to lose $954,000 in state aid, and we lost $634,000. So again, we treat this as an estimate this time of year, we're just not sure. But just to kind of give you a comparison, our other state aid districts around us, Wanakee had a little over a 2% decrease, Point Ed had a 3.5% increase in state aid, Portage was lost 1.22%, DeForest had an increase of 1.7%, Sauk had a decrease of 7.84%, and we had a decrease of 9.18%. So we had the biggest one. And again, part of it is because we're not growing, we're staying stable, and our property values are going up so much, so we just have so much property behind each of our kids. So just keeping you in the loop, and that will impact our budget as we move forward. Lodi Fair obviously was this past weekend, so I just want to thank the board members for attending the fair and picking out your favorite pieces of student art.
That's always so hard.
I know it is.
It's the hardest part of being on the school board.
But it's so awesome. to have
It is
up here.
fun though.
I do love that.
And so we will work with Ms. Nimmo to get our artwork framed and have a ceremony at the September board meeting with our students and their artwork. I also want to thank our fair coordinators, Whitney Robarge, Technique Nimmo, and Michelle Hall for all their work in getting students' projects to and from the fair. Huge thank you to Connor Anderson and the FFA team for their work at the fair, and to Dawn Collins and all the other volunteers for their work at the Stars of the Show, which happened on Sunday morning at the fair. And finally, just a big thank you to all the people who volunteered at the fair to make it happen, so thank you. Thirdly, I just want to touch base on the solar project. We had our interconnection agreements for the solar system, each of the 5 buildings by June 30th. So this allows the business office to start working on steps necessary to file for the tax credits that comes with having our solar systems up and operational. Even though Elin will still be on site for the next few weeks, putting the finishing touches on the project, each building is currently connected and producing power. And once we'll be able to start looking at what that looks like. And we will put together a ribbon cutting ceremony of some sort here in the next few months.
It would be
when everything's
nice
done.
if we could all go up on the roof and look.
We would probably do that at the middle school, because the only one doesn't have to climb a ladder.
Oh.
That's steps. So we took some students up there, like we had
Don't wear a dress that day.
Elin, Upper 90 did a presentation to our Science 9 classes, and then we walked them over to the middle school and walked up, because there's stairs to get to the roof there versus having climb ladders and things of that nature, so. And then, along that same line, our roofing project, the second phase of the high school roofing project is going well and is ahead of schedule.
Nice.
And a reminder that before our next board meeting, we have all school picture day.
That's
August
crazy.
6th, from 3 to 7 p.m. So just throwing that out there. Keeps flying by.
It does
Thank you.
Thanks, Vince. All right, board president report. I'm guessing all can agree that summer is flying by. Like always, I hope everyone is checking things off their summer bucket list, whether that be work and or play. I'm going to get right into this month and talk referendum right away. This month we are approving the wording on the ballot for our referendum questions. As we all know, lawyers have to get involved in this process, and no offense to lawyers out there, but you guys really know how to make things confusing. But we do appreciate what you do. So like any other time you vote, please be informed and know what you are voting for. And speaking of confusing language, our school funding process is probably one of the most confusing and frustrating things ever. I truly hope the system will be changed someday and we'll find a better solution to pay for our children's education. I want to say thank you to our entire community for being so supportive of our district and our students. If seeing all the art projects, animal showings, and the entire atmosphere at the Lodi Fair this weekend wasn't enough proof of our supportive community, just look at the fundraiser reports on this month's agenda. It just makes a school board member, and hopefully all in the community, so incredibly proud and grateful for our awesome Lodi community. Every fundraiser made more money than anticipated. I'm guessing not many communities can say that. Like always, Lodi is an awesome community and knows what is important. Fundraisers not only benefit the actual activity that the fundraiser is for, it teaches our kids life lessons, creates a bonding opportunity for the group, and just gives our kids another opportunity to work together towards a shared goal. We can't thank our community enough for supporting our youth. On a more serious note, I would like to highlight that our district has teamed up with a professional service that offers mental health therapy to our students and has done this for some time now. I still remember voting in support of this, and there was no doubt in my mind about it. The service is offered to all of our students and has been used already by many. I believe COVID really showed our world that mental health is something that needs to be talked about more. I want our students to feel supported by our district in all aspects of their life. I thought of that service this weekend due to losing someone that struggled with their mental health. Unfortunately, this is not the first person that I've lost due to their struggles, and I know people that are struggling at this very moment. Just a reminder that life is precious and we all need to slow down sometimes. No one knows what anyone is going through, so try to be patient and give people grace. If you are struggling, please know that there is always hope and help, along with people that think of you more often than you know and many that love you. Have a wonderful rest of your summer. Be safe and enjoy.
Thanks.
Yes. All right, now we're going to move on to that awesome wording of our referendums.
Yeah, so tonight the board has the opportunity to vote on 3 formal referendum resolutions, which represent the culmination of your hard work over the last several years. Through the strategic plan refresh, community viability team, and the recent school perception survey, you deeply engaged our community to shape these the fall 2026 ballot questions. Following your directives from the June board meeting, Quarles and Brady drafted these fine and final legal resolutions to officially approve the 2 referendum questions and the election itself. I fully recommend the board approve all 3 resolutions tonight to officially take this next step for our district. And just a note, you don't have to read like all the way through all the resolutions, you just have to approve the agenda items. But these are exactly based on what you guys decided last month.
I'll start with
But there
901?
are three of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, each
And
one
we
is
have to do
separate,
one at a
right?
time.
No, I understand
Yep.
that, but can you tell the people why
Sure.
we
Oh.
have this one, why we have this
Okay.
one, and why we have this?
Sure, so the first one is for it's a non-recurring operating referendum. So it's a $5.98 million non-recurring referendum for 5 years, which is just a continuation of what is currently in place. So it should have no impact on our taxpayers based on this. So that's the first one.
And operating means teachers, staff,
Business, yep, pay the day-to-day expenses
Keeping
of
the
what's
lights
going
on.
on. Yeah. Do you want me to go through all three of them?
Sure, you might as well
Sure.
check one.
Yeah.
So the second one is an initial resolution authorizing general obligation bonds, the amount not to exceed 13.2 million. So this is a capital referendum, so where you go out and you borrow money for projects or to build things. So after we went through the community viability team, went through and made some recommendations based on facilities in green space. They brought it to the board turned that into a survey through school perceptions and got information back from school perceptions. And then the board spent several meetings kind of hammering out what that should look like, and decided that we wanted to remodel our career and technical education spaces. We wanted to update our locker rooms, our pool and FIAD locker rooms. We wanted to update our pool, remodel our pool. And we also wanted to look at adding some practice fields on the primary school, some flattening out some of the land we own so we can use it for practice for soccer or football, things like that. And building a varsity baseball field in the primary school site. So that's a $13.2 million, but that is a 20-year bond that will have a tax impact of about 44 cents on $100,000, so, or $44 every $100,000. So we talked about that tax impact last time. And then the last one's just authorizing the resolution to actually go to referendum, to hold an election for referendum.
And the actual wording of the questions?
Actual wording, yep, was in there as well. So there's a lot of other things that we have to do, notifications and timelines and across the DPI, to newspapers, to our electors, to make sure that everybody's aware of this.
The only thing I would add to what you said is that first 5.98 is just a continuation of what we currently have in place.
yep, you
Correct.
said that.
Yep, correct. But it's worth
The dollar
emphasizing again.
amount didn't
Yes.
change.
Right, it didn't change.
And that's just to keep the district going, that's not just staff compensation, which
Keep the
some,
No,
light-
it's everything.
lights on.
Mhm.
yeah,
Right,
compensation is included in that.
it's a huge part of it.
And the way we were able to get to say that 5.98, right, is we were trying to do some things, right? We're putting solar in to try to bring down our electric costs. We reduced 4 full-time staff members going into next year to reduce cost as well. So we're always looking at reducing costs to try to keep that as affordable as possible.
So I will make a motion to move, I move to approve the resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limit by $980,000 per year for 5 years for non-reoccurring purposes.
And I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I move to approve the initial resolution authorizing general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $13,200,000.
I'll second.
Motion by Scott, second by Sarah Ramish. Any more discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I will move to approve the resolution providing for a referendum election on the questions of the approval of a resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limit by $5,980,000 per year for 5 years for non-recurring purposes, and an initial resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $13,200,000.
And I'll second.
Motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
So again, just for anybody who's watching, like, that seemed like a really quick vote on 3 really major things. We have spent the last
Yeah,
Hours and hours.
3 meetings going over this, and this is just
More than that even.
we spent
was
a
the
long
legal
time
part of
last
it,
meeting in
yeah.
June where we made the final decision, and this is just the outcome of the final decision in legal terms that has to be moved forward.
probably a good call, because it really did look like we were, yeah,
We
whatever.
spent
But it,
years on this.
We have,
I was gonna say, we have been
Sleepless
talking about
nights.
this.
right, and engaging community, right? We've had
Yeah.
community engagement sessions last 4 years, to talk to the
Surveys.
community about this, surveys and things of that nature, yep, so.
We've been dreaming about this stuff, you know,
Right.
waking up in the middle of the night, you know, fun stuff. All right, we're gonna move on to daycare contracts.
Yeah, so attached to daycare contracts for both TLC Learning Center and Kitty Corner Daycare. Kitty Corner utilizes our elementary school OSC building, and TLC utilizes the primary school for before and after school care. I would recommend we approve both contracts as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve daycare contracts as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Terry. Any more discussion? This has been something we've been doing for years.
Oh, yes.
So it's pretty clear cut.
It was- Yeah, and all the
Helpful.
stuff that was sent, and it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0. All right, private school transportation discussion.
So for those of you who don't know, Blessed Trinity, unfortunately in Dane, closed at the end of this school year. And so the plan for diocese, the Diocese of Madison, and for the parish, for families who wanted to continue with a private religious school, was to have them attend St. John's in Wanakee, as they're part of the same parish. St. John's School is approximately 4.4 miles from the border of the school district Lodi. And the reason that is important is that per state statute, the school district of Lodi is obligated to transport students, students who want to go to a private school that's within 5 miles of our boundaries. So St. John's is within that 5 miles. So it's our obligation to transport students who want to go there. So we have that legal requirement. So to fulfill that obligation, the district explored 2 options. The district can either establish a mileage reimbursement contracts directly with parents, which we estimated at $42,000, nearly $43,000, using the IRS rate. Or we can use a dedicated school bus route with our current busing partner, CoBusin, for an estimated $68,000. We had some public input here earlier who talked about, if that math was correct. And there is a piece where in the city of Milwaukee, that you can use the IRS rate for pupils within all the kids in one family, just one IRS rate. It talks about the possibility of using per every student getting the IRS rate. When we talked to DPI said that we should look at using the IRS rate per family. That was what they gave us, and talking to our attorney, they also saw it kind of that way. But the other thing that we looked at, after I got an email today, we dug into it a little further. The other option for the district is to look at our average cost per pupil for regular students to and from school bus transportation, and then provide that per school. That would be even less for each family.
It's a greater of. Sorry, it's a greater of. You have to use the greater of. It's
Yeah.
the greater of the 2.
Yeah, so that would be, I'm just saying, that would be less than the IRS rate.
So there's no reason to bring up the less, right? It's a greater.
Sir,
I'm sorry.
sir, you
Oh,
have
fine.
no,
I
you had your
apologize.
public
I apologize.
input.
You're right, I
You're not
apologize.
allowed unless the president allows you
All right,
to
I
speak.
completely apologize. I'm sorry.
So I'm just trying to go through all the different options, right?
We're
So,
trying to focus over
yeah,
here.
so the options that we looked at are that IRS rate for families, or using the busing rate. And the busing, and the IRS rate is $25,000 less than a bus. We also explored with CoBusin the opportunity, but Blessed Trinity didn't have their own bus route. We incorporated them into our busing route. So we had a transfer bus that was here by 7:30 into the elementary school and transferred every morning, and was able to get to Blessed Trinity on time for their school start at 7:50, I think it was. For us to do that to Wanakee, would have to have a bus here by 7:10 at the latest, to then also then meet in Dane and pick up kids, and then get to St. John's starts earlier than even that, so they start at 7:40. So if we were using that route, we would have to pick up kids at like 6:05 in the morning or 6:10, and transport them to here. Our private school kids would then move on to St. John's. Our public school kids would sit on a bus at 7:10 in the morning until we had somewhere for them to go. We have no supervision until 7:35, unless the district, decided to pay people to supervise them, which we don't do at this point. So our recommendation is to move forward with individual contracts with families and go with that route. And work with each of the families to do that. We know it's an inconvenience, we understand that, but we also know that we have to be fiscally responsible to our taxpayers as well. And so that was the recommendation that we walked through with our attorney, because this is new to us too. We've never had to do this before. I did not know that this statute existed until Blessed Trinity closed, because we've always had a great relationship with Blessed Trinity. So that's where we are.
So based on the public input, do we have any updated numbers, or do we not need to do that?
That's the same numbers we had.
It's the same, okay.
Okay, Jason?
Yeah, we're looking at using our average cost for transporting students in the last year.
Okay.
So when we calculated how much it would cost to take a bus, their private route, right? I'm just kind of thought of this while you're talking. Is there a chance, like, would it be a lot cheaper to just have one bus, like, if they could get all their kids to one location and then we take them to, like, can they get them all to middle school, like, on their own? And then we take them. Is that a possibility?
I don't know if that's possible, because that's not really what the obligation is. The obligation is for us to take them from their home.
From pick them up from their home?
That's what I was just gonna
They
ask,
are,
yeah.
right? It's just like any other school. It's not our obligation to like send people to say, well, if you can get to the primary school, then we will transport you to the other buildings. That's the same, right? Our obligation is to get them, either pay parents to take their kids to school or to provide a bus, right? And it would have to be a designated bus. We can't have a bus that would coordinate with the rest of the district because of the timing.
I am gonna ask, because she's saying it's not. I think there's some, like, I'm sure the statutes are worded.
But just as you had talked about with the referendum, statutes are as clear as they are, right? So sometimes it depends on the attorney you talk to,
Okay.
right? So again, we're gonna go with our districts.
So our district attorney said that we have to transport them from their house to the school, or we pay them.
Yeah. Our obligation is that.
Okay.
That's our obligation.
Okay.
We have an obligation to take our kids from home to school unless they live within 2 miles of our buildings, or they have to cross a highway. That's public or private school, right? There's no place that we can just say, right? We wouldn't do that for our public school kids. Like,
No.
hey, everybody come to this building and we'll then get you where you need to go. We can't do that we wouldn't do that for private school kids. Really.
So
Doesn't
just
make a lot of sense.
Make sure that I understand, and maybe for people watching, just the part of the school that closed, because of where it was located, we were able to just use a pre-existing co-busing contract to do that, because we were taking other kids that were in the public school already riding the bus, is that right?
It was within our boundaries.
Okay.
So we had buses going there. Secondly, because of the distance, we were able to, when we got kids on the bus, we could get them here to Lodi by 7:30.
Okay, and then
And then we would transfer them out to Dane. We had a transfer bus here, and then we had kids sitting on a bus for 5 to 10 minutes until they.
Yep.
To do it now, we would have to have our buses here by 7:10 at the latest, and probably
Which
earlier.
means in our neighborhood, you'd be picking them up at 6.
Yeah, so that's the issue, right? Depending how far you are away.
So multiple.
And it doesn't just affect then those kids
Yeah.
who are going to St. John's, it affects everybody on
Everybody
that
on the
bus
bus.
route.
Yep, yep.
So that's the issue. So it's up to the district, right? You can spend $68,000 and have a dedicated bus route, or we can come with individual contracts with families. Either one is a legitimate option for the district to pursue.
Okay, this is gonna sound like a crazy question, but could the difference in costs be shared with the families, or is that just not something anybody?
I don't know how legally you would do that.
Okay, I figured probably not, but.
Good question though. Just trying to see all the options.
Yeah, you were
know?
That was my thought too. If
Yeah.
there's 31 students, I don't know, the difference is 25,000?
Like less than 1,000.
100 is-
I mean, not that
But
people
again,
wanna
then
do
you're,
that.
but then you're
but-
requiring people to pay for their transportation down there, and we're obligated to provide transportation.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't
I
it be
think,
great-
I think you might, some families would say yes,
Yeah.
and I think other families would be upset,
Yeah.
and then you put yourself in a legal
Yeah.
What,
issue there.
do
That
they
would be
have, does St. John's have 4K and do they have full-day kindergarten, or is it half-day kindergarten? I'm just reading the statutes now and.
That I don't know.
Because if they have to go get them at noon, we're required to do that as well if it's only a half-day kindergarten.
Yeah, I don't know what they hold.
I mean, either way, we're required to as a district, whether it's 4K or half-day kindergarten from what I'm reading on the statute.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. When you guys were talking about COVID and I was sitting over there, Adam, you let us talk because it was a new thing. This is all new.
It's per your discretion.
Yeah.
You can let anybody talk you want.
I know, but I just wanna make it clear
But
that this
you're
isn't
the
always
one
gonna
who
happen. And this is
decides.
such a weird situation and I know that you guys want to say something. So I'm gonna allow you guys to say stuff, cause we need all the info possible here.
As far as the kindergarten, so they actually offer all-day 4K, half-day 4K, and all-day kindergarten.
Okay, thank you.
So you can choose.
Okay.
So parents get to choose which,
They can choose all-day or all-day 4K or half-day 4K.
okay.
Okay.
So again, if you're busing, that would be another
Yeah.
bus route that you'd have to
Yep.
provide. If you're providing individual transportation,
Right.
that's just what the individual transportation is.
I apologize again for interrupting.
That's okay.
Um,
It's,
But,
You should be passionate about your kids.
I was just gonna say,
Uh,
believe me, we've all been there. Don't worry about it.
and so, I know that what your lawyers told you about the DPI thing, the statute is like, except for that. So, I mean, you could read, I could pull up the page and read it to you now, but that's okay. So I do think there's a little bit of the math wiggle room there. So the $25,000, I just think is less. I understand the logistics issue. I do think that the families at Blessed Trinity would be willing to work with you guys on logistics of it. I understand how that also puts you in a legal bind as far as obligated and things like that. I do get that. I'd like to see the numbers on the 42,000, the mileage reimbursement rate, because also if you read it, a lot of this is per pupil, and I don't know, like, I mean, it kind of sucks because I'm on the one edge of town that would probably get my daughter to St. John's quicker, and then the other people are in Harmony Grove, and so now the cost is up over the rate that I would, so it's like, I'm not that far out of town. So like, but when you go to contract with me, you're coming into a contract with me, and so you're gonna tell me, I'm gonna pay you this because of X, but that's based on what everyone else is. And I don't, the way I read the statute, I mean, I know it's hard to operate that way, so I don't know how that would be, but it was saying per pupil, like you gotta come to my house and negotiate this contract with me. And so.
Right, and it does say that, I would agree with that. But ultimately, we also, when we can't figure out like what the per pupil cost is,
Yeah,
we go to DPI and ask them.
Right.
And we've asked DPI and they said, this is how we figure it out.
yeah, there's a calculation. I know
This is how we do it. Like
Yeah.
if you offer this, you would be fair.
Yeah,
So they're putting the Lodi School District in a chapter 119?
No, they're not saying that at
Because
all.
that's, the chapter
That's the Milwaukee,
119
yep.
is based on Milwaukee,
Totally understand that.
and that is per household.
Yep.
Every way that you read through that statute, it says that, like, the Lodi, Wisconsin, it's not in a chapter 119 to do it per household. It is per pupil. So I guess there's some confusion there.
Yeah. Well, we can follow up with DPI one more time. Like that was the
I was
conversation
gonna
we had
say,
with
can we
DPI.
table this and make a motion?
I wouldn't table
We
it.
have to
So-
let,
Table it. We have
So
to
can-
investigate.
Do it so they authorize them to figure this out.
So can I make a motion and then, I mean, make the motion and then, how do I wanna say
If
this?
more facts come to light,
That would
change the numbers.
change the numbers, or,
then we revisit,
okay, you know what, I'm just gonna,
Approve it, so.
I'm gonna make a motion to utilize parent contracts calculated using the 2026 IRS mileage rate as the means of providing transportation to students attending St. John's School. After I make that motion, so I've made that motion, nobody seconded it yet, Do we need to second before I ask my question?
No. You should be able to.
Can you repeat it
have
again?
discussion.
Why don't we just, does someone want to second it and then we discuss it?
So I'll make a motion to utilize parent contracts calculated using the 2026 IRS mileage rate as the means of providing transportation to students attending St. John's School.
I second that.
Okay, motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Scott.
My
Now we can
question-
discuss.
My question would be then, how would it come back to us as a board if, say, the district or the parents reached out to DPI and said something different than what we are making a motion to based on the research and the information that was provided to you guys, to you? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do. So there's different methods in which you can use to calculate what's a fair amount.
Yeah.
So right now within the statutes, our most recent interpretations of it is running a calculation, they have a spreadsheet set up, and what is the average cost last year of transporting our students?
Right.
Our current recommendation is utilizing that, which is different method than what that memo was originally written at an IRS reimbursement rate.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
That, you can't do that. Again, that's where the DPI says it's gotta be the greater of the two. If the IRS reimbursement rate is the 42,000, say that is accurate, and it is 42,000, which you guys are saying, and you're saying that also but per pupil rate it'd be, 1,000 per pupil equals about 31,000 or 30, whatever that is, which is lower, so you go with that option because it's lower. You can't do that.
It's greater than $5 per mile per student, right?
That's the reimbursement rate has to be that
Greater than
$5
that
times
or
the
our
thing,
average
or the
cost.
average, right?
Yeah, so it's not the reimbursement rate from the IRS necessarily.
Is it the time factor?
It's $5
The reason I
times per
wrote that,
mileage.
I'm just gonna explain myself.
Yeah,
The
go
reason
for it.
I wrote that memo is I called DPI's transportation, and they used the IRS rate as just a general rule of thumb in which they fact check what is a fair calculation.
Okay.
So what's in the statutes is our average cost per pupil for the year.
Right.
Or it's $5 times the miles per student.
Okay, so so it's $5 times the miles per student, you're saying that's not tied to the IRS rate?
That's not tied to the IRS rate, no, sorry.
Okay.
So is there any chance that obviously, like you said, we can possibly talk to our attorneys, talk to DPI again, but that aside, can these numbers change at all based on inflation or gas or anything?
Well, the IRS rate changes usually every January 1st, right? So that would go up. It has been. I can't imagine
And that
the
would-
price of
that would
gas, that
affect-
it's gonna come down.
That would affect any of our choices.
It would, right?
Okay.
It's gonna impact your co-busing choices because they have a gas escalator, or propane, they use propane, but that'll escalate. And it'll change ours, depending on how much that IRS rate goes up. So really, the district's gonna look at what is the most economic, just like we do for all of our other students, what's the most economical way we can get kids to
Okay.
school?
Just like we do for all of our contracts.
So-
for everything that we do.
Do I need to, I'm just asking the question, do I need to amend my motion to state that so it's the best economical, fiscally responsible for the district? However that gets worded. I know that didn't come out right.
No, but that would be a way to do it, like, the motion would be that the district should move forward with the most economically feasible way for us to do this.
I would like to amend my motion to what Vince just said.
To just what he said,
And
period.
is this something that we would reevaluate?
Really
Is
testing
it done
Joe
annually
today.
I know.
then? Okay, okay.
Yeah, because then we look at.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm torn. Obviously, we need to be fiscally responsible, especially at this time with a referendum, but I'm also like, I want kids to get the best education that fits for them.
I don't want kids to get up at 6 a.m.
No.
I don't want our other
It would be
kids
waiting for a
bus
getting
bus
up
at
at
6
6
in the
in the morning, and I've been in school, I've been there. I don't wanna see that, and we can sit here now and go, oh, but that's a lot of kids that are gonna be affected.
I know, but we would be forcing that choice on other students.
Right.
If we had, that's only if we put them in
Yeah.
in a combined route with us. We're talking about
could
a
do a
dedicated
dedicated
We
route.
could do the
for
dedicated
co-busing.
route, and that's what
That's
brings
what this
us-
cost is
That's what
for.
the-
That's where it costs much higher.
So I don't know what time that could
So-
get
so
out.
the-
And that could be kind of all, I mean, there's only 31
Right,
kids.
so I don't know how early
So
that
that
would be. I
would
have no
possibly
idea.
be very early too, if we're only doing one bus.
Could I, the reason it has to be done today is because you have a 30-day application, right, before the school year?
Yeah.
Is there, I don't know how often you guys come together.
Once
Not
monthly.
until
Once
August.
Once a month?
month.
Is,
Do a special
can you
meeting.
come together in a special meeting if there's, if no, I mean, vote on what you wanna vote with the, come together before that 30 days, just to talk it over and have a time to think about it?
Well, our deadline, so what, 30 days before the start of school?
It's August 1st.
August 1st.
I assume,
don't
and
need
I
to
know,
know.
think we
I
meet
assume St.
again.
John's starts on August 1st, I don't know for sure.
They usually
Meet
start the
September
same-
1st.
September.
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 Start
St.
September.
John's
We
starts
don't-
September 8th.
And we don't meet again until the 10th
Of August?
of August. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we can
So we have gone over this.
meet
And I do
again
see, I mean,
anytime,
I do see, Jason, where you were talking about that $5, that's under 121.553A.
I assume that the IRS
statute.
mileage was part of that calculation, but you're telling me
No,
it's
this
not.
was
Says nothing
separate. This
about
was just
IRS.
information from DPI, which they used to kind of.
Gotcha.
So I still think your last motion makes sense.
Okay, but that needs to be, who, did you second that? So you would have to agree to that also.
I amended my motion.
Right.
To be
But
fiscally
nothing happens
responsible.
unless I also do.
Correct.
Or we vote
And we
on it
can-
and
or
we
we
vote
can
it
just-
down.
Yep.
The
So-
question that I have is, the change that she wants to make to the motion, how does it impact what the motion that she initially made? How does it change it? How does it
Yeah, it would
vary
change
from
that
what-
motion, either that or just withdraw both of that motion, if both people want to withdraw it, and then make a new motion, or vote it down. Those are your two options, right? You can.
No, but I'm asking the question, how
What would that change?
How does it change?
Oh, so
The
from what, it would say,
From
what we have
initially-
now is the IRS rate. We've said in here the IRS rate. What the other motion is, whatever the most fiscally responsible way is. So if we get more information to come back and said, you know what, the IRS rate is gonna, or whatever rate's gonna cost us more, it'd be cheaper for us to have a bus. If we do with the initial motion, we have to stick with the IRS rate. If we go with the amended motion,
Is
we will
it
take the
possible the
most
flip
fiscal.
side of that means potentially even less money to pay out to the parents though?
Possibly.
That's
I just-
kind of what I was thinking in my mind.
Yeah.
Could happen.
That's true.
Yes.
I'm happy to retract my second. I seconded so we could have the discussion. So I'm more than, we don't have to go to a vote. I am more than happy to retract my second, which I'm formally doing. And if you want to retract your motion, you can retract your motion, you can make another motion.
Okay, I will officially retract my first motion.
But again,
More discussion.
understand that by stating that physically responsible, it could
Fiscally.
actually be, fiscally, sorry.
Yeah.
Physical. It could actually be less than the 42,000
And that's-
that we were going to vote on.
And that's what my intent was, is to let Dr. Breinig and Mr. Brewer work through the logistics of
But
whatever.
we have to make a decision tonight.
Right, but yes, and that's why I wanted to amend it to put that in
That's fine.
their court,
That's
just
fine.
after reading what because it doesn't,
Sarah,
I don't see the IRS, like you said, Jason.
Right now, Sarah, there's no motion on
So,
the table, so you can make a motion, whatever
Vince can-
fashion you
The
want.
motion would be again, I'm sorry. I should have wrote it
Joe can
down.
read it to you. Joe can
Okay.
tell.
Vince can read it for me.
Well,
Your motion,
I make a motion to empower the administration to find the most fiscally responsible way forward
Providing transportation
for
to
providing
students attending St.
transportation to
John's School.
students attending St. John's School.
I will second that motion. That's what I was trying to get out before.
Motion by Terry, second by Sarah Ramish. And let's make sure that there's no more discussion. 'cause
I have a
I'm not-
discussion.
I have to, you go first though.
Okay. So, do we know the location of the 31 families? Has it been like
That's-
mapped
It's
out?
31 students, I thought.
I'm sorry,
students.
31 students?
So that was based, that's what we used, we gave that to Cobussen, that is
Okay.
how they based their route information on.
Okay. That's how the
addresses.
estimate for the bus cost came.
And we asked we didn't ask those families for sure that they would use it, right? We just have to go off of that.
Assume they will.
It has to be available
They may
to,
not use it every
Just
day,
like-
but it has to
just-
be available.
it has to be available.
So we need
Every day.
to, that's how we have
Just like our
to.
public schools.
So,
It's like
the
sometimes
bus
you'll have
has-
people complain that that bus is only half full. Well, it's gotta be, people
Yeah.
some ride it like, they ride it
Yeah.
once a week. We have to have that space for them every single day.
Okay.
Was that all, do you have another?
That was my only
Oh,
question.
I just wondered if we were to go forward and approve this motion that Terry just made and got seconded?
Yep.
Yes. Could we add to it that this would be pending any, additional information that's learned?
Well, I think that's what,
I
that's
think
what they're
that's-
telling
That's
us.
what the
And-
intent of that
That's
motion
what-
is.
That's just the
It's
overall
included in
intent,
that.
okay.
That's what's
That
meant.
allows us to dig into this even more with
Yep,
TPI
yes.
and
Okay.
This just comes out of our general fund?
Yes.
our transportation budget. We have to add it to our transportation.
That
budget
was
next
my
year.
intent anyway.
Yeah.
What your question was, is
Yeah.
to
Right.
give it back to
Yep.
administration to
Do some
figure out the
research and-
logistics for the
Yep.
most
After we've had,
economically,
Sound.
fiscally sound,
Yep.
responsible
not physically.
to the
sound,
district,
physically.
not physically, but fiscally, to the district.
FISCIM.
So I think this is one of those moments that I'm gonna,
One more thing.
yep, that's fine.
I'm sorry, when did you say that you guys spoke with DPI? How recently?
It's been a couple months at this point. So I'd say probably late April is when I had the conversations with them.
So I assume we'll be going back to them
We will.
to some of the
Yeah.
points that the parents are making to double check our facts.
And we talked to our attorneys this week.
You talked to your attorneys this. Okay. You do a roll call vote, is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, I don't think we necessarily need to do that, I'm torn, because as a mother and like, obviously I want all of our kids to come to Lodi, but I want kids in our district to get the best education that works for them. But, so, yeah, personally, I would actually be like, no, I would like to pay this extra money, but this is not my money, it's district money, and we need to be responsible at this point with the referendum coming up.
2 referendums.
It's true. So that's just kind of where I'm thinking, but I also have some cake space. So I don't like this decision, to be honest, but is any more discussion? Okay.
Do we all know what the motion is? I do. I'm just asking.
Empower the administration to make the best
Fiscal.
fiscal responsible decision.
And they're gonna be doing some more digging while they're doing that.
Because, again, with that, then it doesn't need to come back to us.
And
Is
it can
The
be
reasoning
in
for
time
me,
for
wanting
everything.
to add that, and I think Terry, I don't wanna speak for you, but I think that's what your
Right,
thinking was as well.
because so that it gets made in time for everybody to
Correct.
get what they need to get.
Yes.
Okay. Would you guys like to do a roll call vote, or are we just
Up
fine
to
with
you.
voting?
It's totally up to you, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you all for your discussion.
Well, it's just not a great thing
know.
that happened, that's
I feel
something
bad, I'm
closely.
really sorry.
Plus, we don't know that full actual outcome.
I'm not gonna.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
All right. Collective commitments, good timing on this one.
There you go. So in the summer and fall of 2024, this board worked through a 3-part professional development series with Drew Horwick. One of the items that came from that work was a review of our established collective commitments, which represented a pledge to yourself and to other board members. The board members reviewed and revised these collective commitments and approved them in October of '24. Collective commitments are placed at the Board of Education table at every board meeting for board members to reference. As part of this process, collective commitment process, the board committed to reviewing the collective commitments twice annually, once in the summer and once during the board's self-evaluation process in December and January. Therefore, the board needs to review and reaffirm these commitments the members made to themselves and others. In the past, the board has read through the entire document. I don't know if that's necessary, it's up to the board, as we've been referencing them a lot through the referendum process. The board does not need to take any action for the collective commitments to remain in place. The board can decide to reaffirm their pledge to the collective commitments through a vote if they so choose.
Well, I'd like to move because we've worked so hard on this, and it's all the same people here. We
We
haven't
haven't.
had any new board members since we've done this. So I would like to move to reaffirm our pledge to continue to utilize and hold ourselves accountable to the School District of Lodi Board of Education collective commitments.
I'll second that.
Motion by Terry, second by Sarah Rip.
Their color.
Any more discussion? I have to say, I think it's.
It's nice to see this now.
Yes,
Yeah, I love
this
seeing
is
that
really
now,
nice.
too.
This is
Well,
so
thank
much
you.
easier to read.
It is, I like
No, this is nice because
Thanks,
the
board
staff
member
knows
Tim
this way more
Barge.
than we do, so I'm glad that we have that. But no, I think we do pretty well. And even the last vote we just had, discussion.
We had to use it.
So,
All right.
We need to vote.
all in
I
favor?
made a motion.
Yeah.
Who seconded it?
Sarah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Okay.
We do not have any policy reviews. Don't have any gifts or donations.
Yeah, we do.
sorry.
We have-
We have a Stockbridge healthcare
Adam,
donation for
go.
$750.
You always
for
do
classroom
those.
Sure,
supplies.
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Is that
How did I miss that?
Nothing underneath it.
Well, no, but you'll figure it out.
I should make a
Oh,
motion
it's
to
just
accept
in
with
the-
great
it's just
gratitude
here,
the
sorry,
donation of
attachment, yeah.
$750 from Stockbridge Healthcare for classroom supplies.
I will second that motion.
Motion by Adam, second by Sarah Ramish. Any more discussion? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
My son's shoulder surgery.
Committee reports, CISA 5. Did you guys meet?
Did we meet? I don't think we did meet. I think we met twice before the last
Twice,
meeting.
yeah. I was say you guys had a lot.
And we meet coming up here at the Dells for a dinner meeting.
Oh.
Oh,
Now we know why he wants to stay on that committee.
yeah. Dinner.
This will be the first dinner meeting,
Okay.
I'm assuming this will be the first dinner meeting I've ever attended.
Well, you've earned it.
Well, enjoy it.
You've earned
Sure.
it, for sure.
Because other times
Dells,
it's
that's not
been
bad.
at the other side of CISA 5.
Yeah.
Like a
Oh,
3-hour
sure.
drive.
Like way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Assuming we don't have any co-curricular?
We're not- Nope, we were all done by the time our last board meeting.
Okay.
OSC?
OSC.
All right, just hang on. So, OSC had a retreat on June 16th, and they went over their mission statement and purpose of OSC. The board discussed any and reviewed board roles and meeting dates. The board also reflected on the school year's celebrated successes and discussed goals for the upcoming school year. Mr. Schoeneman shared information about the OSC balanced scorecard, which looked good, you guys. And those of us on the curriculum committee saw that. Shared and refreshed the district's strategic plan. Shared the initial forward exam results that look good. Shared the work that is being done and will be done this summer as part of the summer curriculum hours. OSC budget, they went over the treasurer report. OSC fundraising, the lemonade stand was $13,962.
I heard they had a record this year.
They crushed it.
Nice. Ran out of lemons.
Yeah,
Closed
they
really.
really, and so what happened was, it was a perfect thing that happened. It was warm enough to be miserable,
Right.
you know, when you're at that stuff. And
That
the
people
weather,
needed
but
to
it didn't
quench their
storm.
thirst.
So
Yeah.
there was always this really long
Perfect
line.
lemonade.
Well, yeah, wasn't last year, didn't it
Storm.
storm? Yeah.
Friday night, it looked like it might.
It looked like it might,
Thursday.
but it
Was
didn't,
it
Thursday.
Friday, Thursday too? Well,
Yeah.
Friday, the clouds were pretty bad.
But
for
it
a
didn't
while.
happen, so it was really good. It was really good, so, anyway,
Awesome, thank you.
that's all I know.
Personnel, facility, finance, and policy has not met since the last board meeting. Curriculum?
Okay, well, I have a lovely summary here from Dr. Carls. The curriculum committee met on June 30th and completed its annual review of the district's advanced learner program, including programming, partnerships, and student performance data. The committee unanimously recommended approval of a new Future Business Leaders of America FBLA chapter of the high school, or at the high school. Reviewed and recommended adoption of the district's 2026-2027 instructional standards and approved the required 2026-2027 district assessment schedule for school board consideration. The committee also reviewed spring local assessment results from iReady and Ames Web, which, as Terry mentioned, were phenomenal, with no action required.
Exciting.
Our next meeting will be held in August.
We have a student services, or student report. That wasn't listed here. I don't wanna put you on the spot. Okay.
But on Wednesday, there is a blood drive being put on by NHS.
Oh.
And right now, we are in a deficit, like we have 25% less blood supplies at Red Cross, like nationally.
Wow.
So if any, it's at
I just donated, I can't.
the Methodist Church.
It's at the Methodist Church.
What time?
From 9 to 2, we have open slots.
This Wednesday or the following?
This Wednesday.
Okay. Do you know what type of blood they're desperate for, or everything?
Everybody's.
I
Everybody.
think they're just desperate for blood.
So July 15th from 9 till,
9 till 2. You
And
can
it's
show
the
up, you
Methodist
can walk in, and I will be there. I can schedule you.
I could.
I can't. I understand.
other people can.
But
I know,
can't.
other people can't, so please,
If
do
you
it.
have not donated blood, that's okay. Like, you
Yeah.
can just walk in, we'll walk you
Yeah.
through every step of the process. You'll have
Emily
snacks,
will hold your hand.
you'll have water, I'll hold your hand if you want.
Yes.
I don't care about the needle part, I just always feel like I'm gonna pass out from something.
Well, you're
9 to
not
2
drinking enough.
Methodist,
Drinking
Methodist Church.
Methodist Church.
Methodist Church
On
in
Locust Street.
Lodi.
Okay.
Locust.
Is there a minimum age requirement?
For normal blood, I think it's 16 and you have to have parent consent.
Okay.
But once you're 17, I think it's okay,
I
and
think
then
so too.
I think you still need your parent consent.
Okay.
probably,
So 16 is
That
the
would make
minimum
sense.
though.
yes.
Not sure, she might.
So if you're over 16.
For normal blood, but like if you're, maybe, never mind.
Yeah, I wonder what
I'm
normal.
sorry. It's
Normal.
It's fine.
But,
Awesome.
Power Red donations are, like, if you can donate Power Red, and if you don't know if you can donate Power Red yet,
What does that mean?
so it's actually a smaller needle, but they take your blood and then they get rid of the plasma and they give it back to you. So they give the plasma back, they only keep the
And you,
blood cells.
and they take out two, yeah, it's like double,
It's double, so
double
it counts,
the
it counts for
red blood cells.
2 units.
Yeah, and then you can't donate again for 8 weeks
Yeah,
versus,
'cause you
or
gotta
8,
build back up.
4 months versus 2 months.
You can go to Madison and get paid for that.
That's true.
You do
Did
get,
that when I was
The price of gas, you must just come to the Methodist
Starving
Church and hang out with
Yeah, but
Right.
sometimes with the,
And let Emily
sometimes
hold
with
your hand.
the Red Cross, because it's through the Red Cross, they have, I just donated a couple weeks ago when I was off for my son's wedding, and I got I think they sent me a $15 Amazon gift card,
you
so.
do get a free Fandango movie ticket.
Well, there you go.
Well,
And
there you go.
they were partnering with Quick Trip for give a pint, get a pint.
There you go,
Oh,
So-
well, it's all good.
perfect.
So there you go.
And the
right next to
snacks
Quick Trip.
and the,
And the
you know.
snacks
mhm.
and the water.
Yes, a little bit.
So please come donate. We need
I'll be there.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, that's awesome, I'm glad you told us about that. Wednesday, 9 to 2, Methodist Church, be there.
be there, we swear.
Yep. All right, future meetings. Our next regular school board meeting is Monday, August 10th at 5:30, closed session, 6:30 open. Curriculum committee is Monday, August 24th at 4:30. Policy is Monday, August 24th at 6 p.m. Personnel is Tuesday, August 4th at 4:30, and facility and finance.
Those are moved, those are the 27th.
It's the 27th of July now.
Personnel and facility and finance are on the 27th of July.
All right, personnel is Monday, the 27th of
Yep.
July at 4:30, and facility and finance is
Because
same date at 6.
somebody couldn't make it, so we emailed out.
Yep.
2 people could make it, so we changed it.
27th.
Are we gonna have much going on for policy on August 25th?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out if we even have policy.
Yeah, it just depends.
find out what
Neola's
shows up.
switching
Updates.
their system,
Oh.
so that's why they've held off on their latest
Okay.
update. So the latest update will be coming, whether it's here in time for us to have a policy meeting then.
Always so much
No.
exciting
We'll find out.
stuff going on in policy.
Personnel is also on a Monday.
Okay, so some of those changed.
It's the 3rd.
Okay, all right.
So,
I-
We don't need to
personnel
go back
is-
into
again,
closed,
that
do
was
we?
the real personnel?
That's right.
Personnel is at 4:30 on July 27th.
July 27th.
I will make a
Facility and
motion,
finance is 6 o'clock.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.
Don't forget to.